Guys, in this video we are going to see the mechanism of nucleophilic substitution reaction. In the previous video we have seen the different chemical properties of haloalkanes, and in that process we have seen how haloalkanes undergo nucleophilic substitution reaction. So in the nucleophilic substitution reaction, what will be the attacking agent? Nucleophiles. So we are going to see how this nucleophilic substitution reaction is going to happen. So there are two types of reactions. One is bimolecular nucleophilic substitution reactions, and nucleophilic substitutions are represented as SN. So S stands for substitution, N for nucleophilic. So when we say bimolecular, we are talking about this bimolecular and unimolecular based on kinetic considerations, which means if the rate of the reaction, which means the speed of the reaction, depends upon the concentration of two reactants, then we call that reactions as bimolecular. Which the other one is unimolecular, in which the rate of the reaction depends upon the concentration of one reactant. So we call that as the unimolecular reaction. So this is a first order reaction, and this is called as the second order reaction. So when we say bimolecular, we are putting a 2 here. So to represent bimolecular nucleophilic substitution. The other type is unimolecular nucleophilic substitution reactions, which is represented as SN1. So now we are going to see each reaction in detail. You have learned in the previous video that a nucleophile will attack the haloalkane's carbon to substitute the halogen with the nucleophile. So that is what happens in a nucleophilic reaction, and we have seen different reagents which can generate different nucleophiles. So to explain this SN2 reaction, we are going to take this nucleophile OH minus. So which reagent we can take to generate this nucleophile? It can be either aqueous NaOH or KOH, sodium hydroxide or potassium hydroxide. So you are taking this nucleophile, and this is the haloalkane. So this is nothing but CH3Cl, which is called as methyl chloride. So when you take this, see, I have represented this compound as with the different lines. See here, simple 2 lines, and here you have some dotted line, and this is a solid line. We call this a solid wedge, and this is a dotted wedge. The reason why we are representing a compound like this is to bring out the 3D picture. So when you put lines like this, which means these two atoms are on the plane of the paper, and this is on the back side, which means it is out of the plane of the paper, but it is away from the observer, which means we are the observer. So this is away from the observer, and this solid wedge, this H, is also out of the plane of the paper, but it is towards the observer, which means towards us. Now I'll try to show this in a simple model. So let's consider this as the CH3Cl. So in this CH3Cl, this is the carbon, okay. This is the Cl atom, and this is the hydrogen. These three are hydrogens. As I told you, these two, this hydrogen and this chlorine, are on the plane of the paper. So this hydrogen and chlorine on the plane of the paper, and there are 2 hydrogens. So I told you one hydrogen is away from the observer. So let this be that hydrogen which is away from the observer. So it is not towards us, but this hydrogen, it is towards us, which means this is represented as the solid wedge, and this is represented as the dotted wedge. This is away from the observer, this is towards the observer, and these two are on the plane of the paper. These two are on the plane of the paper, this and this. When I started to talk about SN2 reaction, I told you this 2 stands for bimolecular, which means the rate of the reaction depends on the concentration of both the reactants. So what are the reactants here? This nucleophile and this methyl chloride, both are reactants. So these both react, and they give a intermediate called as transition state. In this transition state, actually what happens, this chloride ion is actually breaking away, and this OH ion is forming a bond. So both happens at the same time, simultaneously. So actually this chlorine is going away, and this OH is coming inside. So this state is called as transition state. This is an unstable state which happens for a second, and after that what happens, this chlorine completely goes out with the electrons, and this is the product. This is methyl alcohol. This is called as the transition state. So this SN2 reaction happens in a single step. So all this happens in a single step. Nucleophile attacks this methyl chloride, and this forms a transition state, and that transition state, which is unstable, forms the product and the Cl minus ion. So all happens in the single step. So the rate of the reaction depends on both the concentration. That's why we call this as bimolecular reaction. And remember one thing, when the nucleophile here OH minus is attacking the methyl chloride, it will approach this methyl chloride from the opposite direction to the Cl ion, so that it can avoid the repulsive interaction, because OH minus is also negative. This is also having a partial negative charge due to high electronegativity. So this comes and attacks the opposite direction of the halogen atom. So when we started this lesson and when we classified the haloalkanes, we have seen different types of monoalkanes. For example, primary halide, secondary halide and tertiary halide. So what will be the reactivity order? Which will react faster in this SN2 mechanism? That's what we are going to see now. Look here, I've written four different types of halides. This is called as methyl halide. See, CH3X. This is methyl halide. This is primary, and you'd have seen in the first video what is primary, secondary and tertiary. So this is primary with one carbon neighbor. This is nothing but CH3CH2X. This is the primary. And coming to here, this is what? Tertiary. How will you write tertiary? This is CH. There are two methyl groups, CH3 twice, CH3 twice, CHX. This is the secondary, and this one is the tertiary. 3 CH3s and 1 X, and this is a carbon. So when you take all this four, which will undergo SN2 mechanism faster in nucleophilic reaction? So when you take this methyl, I told you in the previous slide, the nucleophile which is coming here will attack this from the opposite direction to the X. Why? To avoid the repulsive interaction. So when OH minus is coming this side, it will be easy for it to attack the carbon. Now look here. Here you have a very bulky CH3, a big one. So now the nucleophile is coming here. Among this and this, which one do you think it will be easier for the nucleophile to attack? This one, because here you have steric effect, which means the strain this is offering to the incoming nucleophile. We call that as steric effect. And then come to this example. This is secondary. Here you have one methyl group and here you have two methyl groups. So when there are two methyl groups, again the strain will be more. So when the nucleophile is coming from this side, these two are going to hinder that. So what will happen? This is undergoing nucleophilic substitution easier by SN2 mechanism than this. And coming to tertiary, obviously three bulky groups are there. So again they offer steric effect. So here the nucleophilic attack will again be hindered. So which one do you think will undergo SN2 mechanism faster? This one. So methyl will undergo faster, and then primary halide, and then secondary, and then tertiary. So this is the reactivity order of different halides when they undergo SN2 mechanism. This knowledge is very important for answering many of the questions. So please understand this concept. If it is SN2, primary will undergo faster. Methyl and primary halides will undergo faster. And another thing that you have to remember about bimolecular reaction, it will undergo just in one step. This reaction takes place in single step. Don't get confused with the SN2. That 2 stands for bimolecular, which means both the reactants concentration, the rate of the reaction depends. So obviously, if it is happening in single step, both the reactants should be there, then only it can be bimolecular. So it happens in single step only. So either ways you can remember. Now we will move on to SN1 reaction. SN1 stands for substitution nucleophilic unimolecular, which means the rate of the reaction depends upon the concentration of one reactant. And you know, for this reaction to happen, we need two reactants. One is the haloalkane, the other one is the nucleophile. So this reaction is going to take place in 2 steps. In the first step, okay, we are going to take the example tertiary halide. Remember, whenever you are asked to explain SN2 reaction, always take the example of primary, because just now we have seen primary halides will undergo SN2 mechanism faster because there is no steric effect. So whenever you are explaining SN1 reaction, always start with a tertiary halide. So this is a tertiary halide. See, this is the alpha carbon, 3 carbon neighbors are there. So this is tertiary halide, tertiary butyl bromide. So in the first step, what happens? This tertiary halide, under the influence of the nucleophile, cleaves to form a carbocation. So actually what is present inside the reaction mixture? A tertiary halide along with the nucleophile. So in the influence of this nucleophile, this is going to cleave and form a carbocation in the first step. So this is the carbocation. I've told you in the previous videos what are free radicals and carbocations. And this carbocation will be formed in the first step. Okay, so Br minus comes out. This is called as a tertiary butyl carbocation. And what happens in the next step? This carbocation forms the desired product in the presence of the nucleophile. So this is the nucleophile and this is going to get substituted here instead of the Br minus. So this carbocation reacts with this nucleophile to give you the product, which is the tertiary butyl alcohol. See, there are two steps and I've written this is the slow step and this is the fast step. Okay, so in chemical kinetics, the slow step is taken as the rate determining step. So the entire rate of the reaction, whether it is happening in one step or two step, if it is happening in multiple steps, then we consider the slow step to be the rate of the reaction. So this is determining the rate of the reaction. So in this reaction, you have just only one reactant. So that's the reason we write unimolecular, because the rate of the reaction depends upon the concentration of only this, which is alkyl halide. So remember, SN1 reaction takes place through the formation of carbocation. And you know which carbocation is more stable among primary, secondary and tertiary. Tertiary carbocation is more stable. So whenever a reaction involves the formation of a carbocation or free radical or carbanion, the product formation depends upon the more stable carbocation. Whichever is the more stable carbocation, that would be preferred to become the product. For example, if I am taking tertiary butyl bromide, I am getting tertiary butyl carbocation, so I get tertiary butyl alcohol. Imagine if I am taking secondary butyl bromide, if I am taking secondary haloalkane, if it is a secondary carbon, we call that as isopropyl bromide. So if you take that, that will lead to the formation of secondary carbocation. Okay, so secondary carbocation is less stable than tertiary. So which will undergo reaction faster by SN1 mechanism? Tertiary. So now we will see the order of reactivity among the different halides in the case of SN1 reaction. Since SN1 reaction takes place via the formation of carbocation, you should see which carbocation is more stable. Then you have to decide on the reactivity order. See, when you look at this, you can understand tertiary carbocation is more stable than secondary, which is more stable than primary, which is more stable than methyl carbocation. So which will undergo SN1 reaction faster? Tertiary. So in the case of SN2, it was primary. Here it is in the reverse order. So when it is SN2 reaction, primary will undergo nucleophilic substitution reaction faster. If it is SN1, tertiary will undergo the reaction faster. Look at this. This is the gist of the order of reactivity. See, first in terms of different halides, the order of reactivity. If it is different halides but same alkyl group, for both SN2 and SN1, this is the order. Which is undergoing the reaction faster? Ri is undergoing the reaction faster because I is the better leaving group, which we have seen already when we talked about nucleophilic substitution reactions of haloalkanes. So this is the order for both SN1 and SN2. But for different alkyl groups, for SN2 and SN1, the order changes because for SN2, the steric effect plays a role, and in the case of SN1, the stability of carbocation plays a role. So in the case of SN2, which is offering more steric effect to the incoming nucleophile? Tertiary. So methyl will undergo reaction easily than primary, than secondary, than tertiary. And here I've included two, allylic and benzylic. So in this order, I'll explain this in the next slide. Here allylic will undergo reaction faster than benzylic, but compared to these two are undergoing the reaction very slower. So which means these two will not prefer SN2 mechanism. For SN1, this is the order, the reverse order. Benzylic will undergo reaction faster then allylic, then tertiary, and then secondary, primary, methyl. So when comes to this primary or methyl, they will prefer SN2. When comes to this, which means benzylic, allylic and tertiary, they prefer SN1. So see, primary prefer SN2, tertiary, benzylic and allylic will prefer SN1 reaction. So they'll give you a list of compounds and they'll ask you to find out which is undergoing reaction faster by SN2 mechanism, which of these compounds will undergo reaction by SN1 mechanism. So I will show examples for that. Before that, I'll show you why benzylic and allylic are more reactive than tertiary and secondary. And I told you for SN1, you have to decide on the order of reactivity depending upon the stability of carbocation. In this case, you get methyl carbocation, primary carbocation, secondary carbocation and tertiary carbocation. And I told you tertiary carbocation is more stable. Compared to tertiary, allylic and benzylic carbocations are more stable because of one specific reason called as resonance. You have studied in grade 11 what is resonance, the delocalization of electrons. Based on that, you will draw different structures. So the more the number of structures you can draw, the more stable will be the carbocation. So for allylic you can draw 2 structures, and for benzylic you can draw 4 structures. So benzylic carbocations are more stable than allylic, and allylic is more stable than tertiary. So why these two are specifically more stable than tertiary carbocation? Because of resonance. I'll show you that now. If you are taking a benzyl halide, see this is benzyl halide, then in SN2 mechanism, benzylic carbocation will be formed. What is benzylic carbocation? This benzyl with this carbon having a positive charge. So this is benzylic. So these electrons are getting delocalized. How? Since this carbon is positively charged, these electrons will be pulled by this. So these electrons are moving to this bond. Okay, so I put an arrow here. So if this is moving here, in the next structure, this bond will not be drawn, and instead of that, this carbon will get a positive charge. Look at this. This is going here, so I'm getting a double bond here, and this carbon is getting a positive charge. So I'm putting a positive charge here. So this is the second resonance structure. So next one, in this, since here we have a positive charge on this carbon, this electrons are going to move here. This bond is nothing but a pair of electron. This is moving here. So if this moves here, this carbon will get a positive charge. So that is represented in the next diagram. So here we have a bond. Here this bond is already there, and instead of here, we are putting a positive charge here. This CH2 is as such. In the next picture, what happens? Since the positive charge is here, these electrons are pulled here. So I get a bond here and I get a positive charge here. So when there is a positive charge, again this bond comes here, these electrons, and this CH2 will get a single bond. So these are the 4 different resonance structures that you can draw for benzylic carbocation. You have to always put double-headed arrow for representing these canonical forms. So this benzylic carbocation is more stable. Same way for allylic carbocation. See, I've told you what is allylic. This is the alpha carbon. If that alpha carbon is attached to a carbon double bonded system, then we call that as allylic. So this is allylic halide. And this can give you allylic carbocation, which is nothing but instead of this X, you get a positive charge on this carbon. So here's a double bond. Since a positive charge is on the carbon, this double bond, these electrons are moving here. So I put a double bond here. So this carbon gets a positive charge. So these two are resonance structures of allylic carbocation. So since there are 4 structures for benzylic, this is more stable and this is allylic. So both are more reactive by what mechanism? SN1 mechanism compared to tertiary. So tertiary will always undergo SN1 mechanism, same way benzylic and allylic also. Let's see a few example questions. See the first question. Which of the 2 compounds would react faster by SN2 pathway? Why? Okay, before you move on to the question, SN2 pathway, what is the order which will undergo reaction faster compared to primary, secondary, tertiary? Primary will undergo SN2 mechanism. So your first job is to find out whether you have primary carbon here. So if you can predict that, then you can tell whether this will undergo SN2 pathway or not. So they have given you two questions, 1 bromobutane and 2 bromobutane. So if they give you name of the compounds, what you have to do, look for the parent name, it's butane, then write 4 carbon atoms, 1, 2, 3, 4. And in the first carbon atom, bromo, 1 bromo, so put Br here. See, without Br, always the first carbon will be CH3 and the second last carbon will be CH3 and all in the middle will be CH2, no matter how many carbons you write. So if you are putting any substituent, then remove 1 hydrogen and put it here. And I told you for the last carbon, it is always CH3. But in the last carbon, you are writing a Br, so remove 1 H. So CH2, Br. Again, I told you in the middle, all will have CH2, CH2. And here, starting also CH3. Okay, and if you are comfortable this way, you can write, or always remember carbon should have 4 valencies. Okay, that 4 valencies should be satisfied. So this is the structure of 1 bromobutane. Now coming to the structure of 2 bromobutane, look here, 4 carbon atoms. Since this is butane, 1, 2, 3, 4, second carbon bromo. And now same way, here CH3, here CH3, here CH2, here CH2. So instead of 1 H, you are putting a Br. Okay, so this is either ways you can write. Here you can put Br or here you can put Br. That's why I've written twice, 2 different ways to show you. So this is 1 bromobutane and this is 2 bromobutane. Now, which is the alpha carbon? The carbon to which the halogen is attached. So this is the alpha carbon and here this is the alpha carbon. This alpha carbon has 1 carbon neighbor, so this is primary. This alpha carbon has 2 carbon neighbors, so this is secondary. And you know order of reactivity of alkyl halide, primary will react faster than secondary than tertiary. So 1 bromobutane being primary halide will offer less steric hindrance to the attacking nucleophile and will react faster than 2 bromobutane. This is how you have to answer. Let's see one more example. In the following pairs of compounds, identify which will undergo SN1 reaction. So remember, if it is a SN1 reaction, look for the carbocation. You know tertiary carbocation will undergo SN1 reaction faster. Same way if you have benzylic or allylic, they will also prefer SN1. So they have given you 2 compounds here. Okay, look at this compounds. So the Cl is here, here Cl is here. So I've told you SN1 reaction takes place in 2 steps. In the first step, in the presence of nucleophile, carbocation will be formed. So to form the carbocation, the Cl and the Cl should be removed. So instead of this Cl, you get a plus here. So see, it's like a arrow. So put a positive charge here. This is cation and say carbocation. Same way for this compound, I've written here, the Cl will go out and you get a positive here. So this is a carbocation. This carbocation, this is the carbon with the positive charge. This carbon has 1, 2, 3 carbon neighbors. So this is tertiary carbocation. Here, this is the carbon with the positive charge. This carbon has 1 and 2 carbon neighbors. So this is secondary carbocation. And you know, according to the SN1 mechanism order, which will undergo reaction faster? Tertiary, because tertiary carbocation is more stable than secondary. So this will undergo SN1 reaction faster than this. And coming to this example, this is what? Chlorobenzene. This is benzyl chloride. You have 2 compounds. So in the case of benzyl chloride, you know it can form what? Benzylic carbocation, and we have seen this benzylic carbocation is stabilized by resonance. But this type of carbocation formation is not possible here in chlorobenzene because this bond is stronger due to resonance. This acquires a partial double bond character, so it is difficult to break this bond. So this carbocation formation is not possible here. So obviously this will undergo SN1 reaction faster. Let's try a few more examples. The question is, which undergoes SN2 faster? Okay, this is first question, compound 1, compound 2. So among compound 1 and 2, which will undergo SN2 faster? And you recall for SN2, what order you should see, whether the given halide is primary, secondary or tertiary, and you know primary halide will undergo SN2 reaction faster. And if it is SN1, question is SN1, what you should look for? The carbocation formation. If the given halide can form tertiary carbocation, then that will react faster by SN1. So now look for primary or secondary or tertiary. See, this is the halogen and this is the functional group. So this is this is the alpha carbon. This alpha carbon has only 1 carbon neighbor. So this is what? Primary. Here this is the alpha carbon, and this alpha carbon has 2 carbon neighbors. So this is secondary. So obviously this will undergo reaction faster by SN2 mechanism. Now here see both alkyl group are same. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 is there. So which means butane. So this is butyl iodide, butyl chloride. And look for the halides. This is Cl, this is I, and you know I is a better leaving group. So this will undergo reaction faster no matter whether it is SN1 or SN2. Now look at this. What is this? Don't say this is benzyl chloride because no bonds inside. This is not a benzene ring. Okay. So among this and this, if you don't know the name, that's not going to be a problem, but you have to identify whether this is primary, secondary or tertiary. See, this is the functional group. This is the alpha carbon. This alpha carbon has 1 carbon neighbor. So this is primary. This is alpha carbon. This alpha carbon has 2 carbon neighbors. This is secondary. So this compound will undergo SN2 reaction faster. The last one among these three which will undergo SN2 faster. See, this is primary. This is 2 carbon neighbors secondary. 3 carbon neighbors tertiary. So this will undergo SN2 reaction faster.